So if you're here, you are probably somebody who knows exactly what's going on with the Watcher Boys. And I'm going to tell you, I've been chronically online the past 3 days, and there's a lot of feelings about it amongst their fans. You have one camp that's pretty much for it, right? People who are saying, hey, you're not entitled to anyone's content, you're not entitled to anyone's art. People have the right to charge what they want. And yeah, fair, totally. Then you have their fans who are devastated. And there's a number of reasons as to why. Some people feel like, hey, this is just a really bad business mistake, and I don't know how they're going to survive this, and it feels like everything's going to crumble, and I'm freaking out. Then you have the fans who are like, hey, I can't afford that. I always tried my best to support you guys with shares, likes, comments, participating in the fandom. I saved as much as I could for that tour ticket. I saved as much as I could for this shirt, but I can't afford $6 a month. It's not feasible for me. And I think that's also very reasonable. And there's a lot of emotions running high. And I think the reason why there's a lot of emotions running high, based off everything I've seen online, is that fans kind of feel betrayed. And yeah, is it parasocial? Yes. But if we know anything from the Try Guys video, which one thing I will say, I think it was Keith who was like, you know what? Yes. Is this parasocial? Yes. But guess what? These celebrities, these creators, they spend time trying to create that parasocial relationship. They want to elicit that from you. So we're not going to blame you for having those feelings when we've done everything we can to create those feelings within you. And that's kind of what I feel like is happening here. Everyone's like, oh, what in the parasocial? And it's like, well, yeah. I personally have been watching The Watcher Boys since BuzzFeed Unsolved. I was there from day one with Garrett and um, Ryan in like an SUV, you know? So, yeah, I've been watching them since my early 20s. I'm now in my early 30s. Like, I feel like I've been watching them my whole adulthood. And I've introduced them to a bunch of people, to my friends. I have friends who are now devastated because I showed them their content a year ago and now they can't believe what's going on. So, yeah, a lot of people just feel a little bit betrayed, right? And again, there's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of feelings of, is this money mismanagement? Because some bigger YouTubers who understand the game came out and lifted the curtain on some of this and said, here's how much they likely make, and here's how much a team like this costs, and here's how much videos cost. And these creators have said, hey, there's really no reason these people should be struggling the way that they are. And I think that has really lifted some people's questions in terms of what's going on monetarily that you're willing to ostracize 99% of your fan base for the 1% or half percent who can pay you. And I think that's a valid question. People are curious. They're like, hey, it's not that we mind paying you, but if we're paying you, shouldn't we get more than one or two shows we like? And I think that's another really good question. People are saying, hey, your channel is still new and it still feels experimental. And that's something I completely agree with. I'll watch an episode of what looks like to be a new series just for that series to then never come back. So it really felt like they were still experimenting. It didn't feel like they quite had a grasp on what their channel was yet. So then to come out and go, hey, now pay us for this channel, and a lot of people are feeling like, hey, it doesn't even feel like you know what your channel is. And now you want us to pay when you don't even know what you're quite doing yet. And let's be honest, there's only one or two shows a lot of us enjoy, right? Which I think is typically going to be like Ghost Files, Mystery Files, and Puppet History. The rest of them, people are just like, we don't even know what you're doing yet because it doesn't seem like you've known. And I think that's a really valid critique. In terms of hurt feelings, let's go back to that. And also, I'm sorry, the sun is shifting. Let's go back to hurt feelings. I've seen quite a few people say, hey, they only need 0.05% of you to sign up to be successful. And I think that's the point of the hurt feelings. Yeah, they only need 0.5% of their fans. But when you only have 0.5% of fans, you don't have tours. You don't have successful merch. You don't have a fandom. You don't have fan art. You don't have fan loyalty. You don't have fan fervence, and I think that's where a lot of the hurt feelings are coming from, is a lot of these fans, the 99.5% of them who were doing these things, who were really loyal and created fan art and created Tumblr blogs and posts and discussed amongst each other, and they had a fandom. They're feeling as if the Watcher Boys are willing to throw all that away for the 0.5% of fans who can pay. And I think that is where, again, a lot of these feelings are coming from and a lot of these hurt feelings are coming from. Now, let's talk about Patreon. Let's talk about the fans who are paying. Let's talk about the fans who are already paying. I'm going to be honest, I signed up right away. I was very quick and I was like, oh, they're starting their entire own platform that they'll have full control over. That seems like it could be really cool. And oh my gosh, they want to make TV. They want to make TV shows. Well, I love watching them on TV. Oh my gosh, it'll be fun to have a Watch Your TV app where we can watch their shows. And I was like, really, I just was really bought in immediately and I paid immediately. Only then to see, and keep in mind they're still in beta, only to see, oh, there isn't a TV app. Oh, there isn't even an iPhone app. Oh, this is for desktop. And I was like, but it's in the works. We're still in the beta period. This is all in the works. It's coming. And I went on their website to their help article just to see, you go to, hey, how can I watch this on my TV? Again, TV caliber content. They want to make television. They said it 10 times in that video where they were explaining everything. The article goes, yeah, you can try to open a browser in your TV, see if that'll work. Try to cast it, see if that'll work. And it just felt really against what they said all their goals were in their video. And again, I think that's also creating some issues. Yeah, so there's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of problems. Let's talk about the Patreon subscribers. They have about 6,000 paying Patreon people. And what's wild is the number has gone up since the announcement, and everyone's like, oh, everyone's joining the Patreon. I literally think people are doing it because, like, they're curious to see what'll be posted there. I don't know if people are joining it in like a good faith, but apparently they have posted tier changes. And the Patreon, they're getting rid of, I think, their most popular Patreon thing, which was the Watcher Weekly Plus, which was where the three of them would sit down and kind of answer Q&As and all that. They're getting rid of that completely. And essentially, the Patreon is now just a podcast Patreon. So all of the new tiers, which they have announced, is just podcast extras. Um, yeah. So I'm not going to weigh in on if this is a good business decision because I don't know. I don't see their books. I have no idea. But I will say it's a decision that makes 99.5% of their fan base feel hurt. And again, you may get $5.99 a month, but when you don't have 3 million eyes on you, when you don't have a fervent fandom, when you don't have a fan base of loyalty and trust that you've built over a decade, which people would pay so much money for the trust their fans had in them. When you don't have that, you lose opportunities. You can't tour when your eyes go from 3 million to 300,000. You can't really sell merch when your eyes go from 3 million to 300,000. A lot of opportunities are now gone for $6.99 a month. So I didn't plan to film this video. If you can see, like, this is not even my office. I'm borrowing this for a second. I was not planning to film this video, but I have been trying to work on this channel since January. And I know you're going to be like, what, with your one video? Yes, because I've had a lot of videos in the works. I have started doing bed and breakfast haunted reviews. I have videos in the bank of ghosts of B&Bs, B&B secrets. I am going to Crypticon to do a video on that. And I have a video in the works of dealing with psychics online. So this channel I've been trying to create since the beginning of the year is going to be all about kind of the spooky things, some internet, some fun, some B&B, some on location, some not on location. And yeah, I don't know. Obviously, there's nothing really here yet for you to check out except for like one video. But if you want to take a chance and subscribe, I think that'd be really neat. But obviously, if you just came here for the Watcher Tea, legit, same. The number of people I've been watching just to be like, so what do you think about the Watcher stuff? But yes, I've been working on this channel. I have about 5 videos planned. But of course, it takes a while to get them situated. You have to write it and film it and do all of that and edit it and then do the talking heads. So they're in the works, but they just take longer than I can post right now. If I had known Watcher would blow up everything in April, I would have been working on this much longer. But yeah, if you want to take a chance and subscribe, that'd be really neat. I promise I will do better than a shifting sun and a random office in the background. I have some great like background ideas for the future, which I know sounds silly, but yeah, maybe give it a consider, check it out. And yeah, so what do you think about the Watcher situation? Do you think they're going to backtrack? Do you think they're going to continue forward? Do you think they can even retain the trust that a lot of their fans now feel is broken? I don't know. They had something really incredible. They had a level of accessibility, trust, and support that big brands would give anything to have. And it feels like in one day they lit it on fire. So, what do you think? I'm going to be honest. I don't know how repairable this is. I really don't. To look at 99.5 of your fan base and be like, yeah, thanks for getting us this far, but now we're leaving you behind is quite a thing to say and quite a thing to do. So we'll see. All right, ghoul friends, we will talk next time.